Hi, Internet viewers. Frank Rauscher again. Uh, on the goldfinch, which we're proceeding on, we marked the heads, and I showed you the pattern I wanted you to burn in. I don't know if you could see that well or not. I pulled that up. I'm also going to show you put some line work in on the face, and I'll show you how to do that. And then we're going to be putting in the feathering that goes on the primaries, secondaries, and so on. So we'll get them in, and we had mapped this area out for the wing, so we're going to fill that in now, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And if you bear with me, we'll move on. I want to show you some of the techniques other than burning that I'm going to do on this one, and we'll continue on, and then we will burn most of the feathers that we're going to add on here shortly. The other thing I want to mention to you too, like I usually do, is I'm also trying to see if you guys would subscribe to my channel, and if you have anybody that may be interested in a club, in your club, or friends of yours that may want to try it, if you could pass the word on about my channel, I'd appreciate that greatly. It really helps in my count. I also want to let you know that I do have a catalog with the kits that I do on video, and I have a lot of other ones that I make as well. But if you get the catalog, you can see what I have available. And if you don't see it, let me know, and maybe I can come up with it for you, or I could put you on to where you can get them, okay? One fellow was looking for a cow. I had a reference to where to go, and I'm just thinking, as I said that, there was a book I used to sell. I can't think of the lady's name now. She put out an excellent book with views from all ends. Mary somebody. I'll have to get that and pass it on in another video here for the person who was looking for that. But there is a place you can get patterns besides myself here, and I'll gladly pass that information on to you too. As far as it's helpful, okay? I make my own patterns as I go, and that's how I get mine most of the time. I can draw fairly well and come up with it, and I've done this over the years, and there's a lot of reference material out there as well. So I'll try to help you out on that. If you need eyes, feet, blanks, and you want to get the patterns, cut your own out, you can do it that way. You can get individual items itself. If you're going for the patterns, I can send it through the mail, through email, and get it directly to you that way rather than sending it through the mail. When it comes to patterns or kits or something like that, I have to send it through the mail. So I usually do it that way, and it's not that bad. I also have equipment if you're looking for Fordham's or the ram grinder or a burning unit. I will make recommendations to what I think you need or what I think is like the best for the money. But again, it's according to your pocketbook and how you want to, spend it. I could tell you what the best is, and at least I always feel as though what I've ended up over the years selling, there were several different varieties, and there was a price range, and then I sort of narrowed it down to not carrying everything, but what I thought was the best for the money. So even with bits and everything else, I'll try to advise you on what bits to use and not buy everything, okay? We have a tendency in any hobby to start collecting things, and a lot of times you get bits you hardly ever use, but it's nice to have some of them too. These diamond bits that are made in China, they don't hold up real long, but for the money, you can't beat it. You get such a variety that it's one way to go, where it doesn't cost you so much. So if the diamonds I usually get are made in the United States here through an outfit that makes dental bits and stuff like that. So they're pretty good and they hold up really well. And I use a lot of ruby carvers, which I feel as though cuts a little slower than the diamond, but you don't gouge so much. Or diamonds can take material out real fast. Rubies are a lot more forgiving, and that's what I like to use. I've used them over the years in my classes so that the students don't take too much out. At the same time, they stay in control, and that's what I try to guide you on. So if anybody's ever looking for bits or things like that, I'll try to put you on to just the right ones and not everything that's out there. You don't need it all, and 4 or 5 bits will go a long way with you and last you a pretty long time too. So I'm going to bring the camera down and we're going to start filling in the areas that we started with. I'll start with the head and then we'll go to the wings. Okay, so bear with me and I'll bring the camera down and then we'll continue on. Okay, we're back again. I'm just trying to get myself located here so that you're in view. What I want to do now on the head here that we burned in the last time, we came back, I guess a distance of, from the beak back. Let me just measure this just to give you, this is the way the crow flies from here to here, not a wraparound. It's about, about between 3/4 and 7/8 from here to here. And if you can burn this into this pattern I showed you, that's what I was trying to do. And I always use like a block of wood to get you started. These are exploded ones of this so that you could see how that was done. And I did show you that in the last video. So we're going to do a lot of this in the mantle area down here, but right now I'm just going to try to get you finished up on the head here. What I want you to do, we'll do a little more detailing on the head and in the throat area here. I'm going to come in and, where we went through the eye and we have a center line through here, I'm going to strike lines like this. I hope you can see these pretty good. And they come back like this. And these are just reference, okay? So I'm going to show you. And then from here to here, I'm going to say from the end of the burn down about 5/8. So from here down to about here is 5/8. And I'm going to ask you to strike lines coming back this way and this way. Over here, this will come around. And then we're going to strike through the cheek. We're going to come in the same direction as that line that went through the eye. And we come back. And then as we the cheek is right here. As we're coming around here, I'm going to ask you to sort of just arc it a little bit back this way and a little bit past that over here, okay? All the way back to here. And then we have this indent that I put in here. And then on this, you have the center line coming down this way, so I'm going to ask you to strike lines. Now, you're going to say, how long should this be? From the end of the beak here, on the underneath side, down to here, it's 1 inch. So you want to stroke these lines in at least 1 inch all the way down to here. It doesn't come all the way out 1 inch. You're sort of circling here. You're getting like a little bit of an arc through here, and you're going to do it on the other side. I'm going to try to do the area that I want you to mark out like this. Okay, and these are just reference lines that we have in there. Okay, for the markings, we're not going to burn this. I'm going to show you another technique here. So up here, we're doing the same thing we did on the other side. We're coming down here, and I'm coming back this way, and these are just straight lines. This will come through this way, just down to here. This will come down and around like in this direction. And you could go just past the cheek line, which is this here area right there. And that meets up with that. So if you can get all this in, that would be great. Now, knowing me not being prepared here, as I do sometime, I hope I have the bit I want to use. And I think I have it here somewhere. Yeah. I'm going to get I call it a stone, and it is a stone. That's what it's called. It's a carbon silicate, okay? And if you have any diamond, like a wheel or file, you can shape these real easy, but we want a square end like this. It's tapered, and if it's a cylinder type, you can get them straight out. This is a white one. This is a brown one. Most of the colored ones are a 200 grit. And then there are some, like the white one here. This was in its former life a white one. This is a 400 grit. Some people like to use the 400 grit. I prefer the 200 grit myself. Okay, and let's see if I can show you another one. Here's another one. Now this has got metal on it because every once in a while I use these to sharpen something or get an edge or grind something down. Say like on the cast feet and something sticking out, I can grind that off, and the metal tends to jump in there. But you could clean these off pretty easy. They're very easy. And then there's some that are as big as this, and you can shape this into a bullet shape by just putting it against a diamond file or something like that and shaping these to whatever shape you want. So they come in all different shapes and sizes, and boy, do I have them, you know. So what we're going to use today, though, is this guy here. It's got a squared end here, and we're going to use the corner of it, like on a 45-degree angle. I'm going to stroke it to the surface. So I'm going to get this bit into my ram grinder here, and this pops in here. Hope I'm in vision here. Now, I'm turning this full speed. If anybody's wondering what speed we use for these bits, mostly everything I do with a bit is running as full as I can get it. Like this machine set for 35,000. I have it up to 45,000 too, but this one isn't geared for that one. But either one is fine. Even if you have like a Dremel that goes for 35,000 RPM, that's fine too. That'll mark out just as well and grind just as well. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come through here on a 45-degree angle and and I'm going to stroke the putting like cuts through there. I'm not doing it real deep. I want to mark the wood. It's maybe hard to see in here. I'm trying to get you to see. This is actually marked up. After I do this a little bit, if you notice, I sort of rake it, and I get this back and forth motion on the idea of hitting every square inch with a marking, and it may not be as obvious to you. I'm going to clean some of this out. Now I'm going to come off the back end. I'm going to come right on up to, and you're going in that same direction. You don't want to crisscross as much as you are going in the same direction. And I come right up to the burn, and I'm coming back to where my pencil marks have stopped. Okay? And I'm coming right up into the eye hole where I can, okay? Then on the back where I stopped the burning, I'm going to follow in with my pencil work, which we said was about 5/8 down, and it sort of tapers this way. And I'm raking that in as well, okay? You can see this is coming up this way. So I'm going to come on this side now. I'm not going on the beak, but I'm marking it right up to it. And I lean it maybe a little heavier just before the beak so that we can get that little bit of a step down a little bit more. Because I know burning would normally take it down. And if you preferred not to do this, you could do this with a burning pen too, okay? That would make it a lot smoother. But that's an option you have, okay? What I'm doing here could be done with a burning pen. So let me just state that too. So let me show you how this comes out after I get done. And some of you may be very proficient at burning that you prefer to do that rather than what I'm doing here. So here we go. On the underneath side, I come right up to the beak and I flare out to the left. And you can start seeing some of this taking place here. But I'm going to get my, I have rotary brushes. They're not metal, they're horsehair. And I'm going to clean this out. And hopefully you'll see this better, okay? So let me get, I think I got most of everything. Well, we'll find out because what I'm going to do. Okay, we're going to get, this is a rotary brush. It's a horsehair. And what I'm going to show you is when you run this, you want to run it at half speed, okay? Because the bristles will fly out of here. And just like when you're sanding, you got to lower the speed to at least half speed. You got to do the same thing with this. Now, what I ask you to do is to come in here and just lightly brush through this. This will get brighter, the burn. It gets all the dust out of it. So you're coming all through here. And when we get done, you're going to see after we leave all the feathers and everything else, we'll do this process again and get all the dust out of all the burning that we have and all the texturing. But this is ideal. Now, to do what we were doing here, where we were texturing under the throat and in the cheek area and everything else, I want you to come in with the brush like this And if you don't have a brush like this, you can use like a toothbrush or something like that, just to get the dust out of there. And then you could go back in and look and see how, if you missed any spots or anything, okay? I'm trying to get you with a close camera here that this, hopefully you'll see some of what I've done here, that you can see the texturing. And if you want to lean a little bit heavier, it makes the grooves a little deeper too. So that's up to you about how heavy-handed you want to be to make it showy. It doesn't have to be, but like I was going to show you here, hang on one second. This original of mine, you can see some of the texture that's in there, that's through the head after you paint it, and in the throat area here. That's what we're trying to achieve. I don't know if you see that well or not on the camera here, but that's what we're trying to do. And I textured with that stone, okay? And I used that the one that was slightly tapered, and it's a 200 grit. It's this guy right here, okay? And you're actually doing that on a 45-degree angle. You're using that corner of the stone to put the markings in. So we're going to then move on down into the mantle area here, and I'm going to show you that too here shortly. I'm sort of segmenting some of the video here because of some interruptions that may have occurred. So bear with me. Last video, we had mapped out this area here. The mantle's in front of this. This is the mantle itself right here. All of this. Oop, no, it ain't. Well, I'm giving you a bump steer. All of this is the mantle. All the way down to here and back to here is the mantle. And that's everything from above here. You don't see all these feathers up in here because I just figured that we'll show it here and not all the way up in here. And I'll show you how to get that in there. Now that we got this textured out, we'll work what's happening in front here. And then on the next video, I'll take you to what's happening behind here. We have this all stoned in, or you could have it burnt. And you know, we went from here over to here with this mantle. And what happens is the feathers start smaller and get bigger as they go. So follow me here. I'm going to come in here and I'm looking, and most of the line work that I textured to stops right here, I should say. So I'm going to come in with a C like this, okay? Then I'll put another C over here. It looks like it's piggybacking off of that. Then I'll get another C and I'll go like this. Now, for the wing area here, or where the mantle hits the wing, I'm going to start over in this corner here. This is where we had the wing marked out. I'm going to start right on this corner here, and I'm going to make a C about that big. It's probably about 3/16. Then I'm going to come back with another one a little further back, and then another one a little further back. And it's like it's piggybacking off of each one. And if you notice, this is smaller, this is a little bigger, this is a little bigger. And I'll go a little bit bigger and come around and put it onto there. Then I'll get one more. I'll come around, I'll put it to there. Then here's where the center one is, or the center line, I should say, of the body. I'm going to come in and swing around and do something like that, okay? Now, I got a couple much smaller ones than down here. I'm going to come in. I have some strata lines that are coming in here. I should say textured lines, excuse me. I'm going to put a C coming off of this one and tagging onto that one. So I'm going to do it like this. Goes like that. Then I'm going to get this one. Let that come into that. Then I'll put a little one right up in front of that, like that. Then I'll get another one. I'll get a little bit bigger than these. Then I'll get one more. It'll swing around like that. And it's not a loop-de-loop-de-loop. You noticed I sort of build in between. So I'm going from this one around and up. These are just what I call C's. And then let's go over on this side and we'll do the same thing that we did here. We went from that size to a bigger one in the center. So we come over here. I hope I didn't go off camera again, or I'll have to do this again. So I'm going to come in like this. And yeah, it's a good size. Then I'm going to come back here. And I peel that one up like that. Then I come out. I do one a little bit bigger. Okay. Then I come out and do another one a little bigger than that. One more there. And then I'll get one more that comes off of here up to here. Okay. Now, we had markings that came all the way out to here. I'm just going to throw some pencil lines in here so you can see, hopefully. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to put a small C here. Piggyback off of that one. Piggyback off of that one. Okay. Now I'm going to fill these in. I'm going to come off of this one, come around and butt up. Okay, that fills that in. Then I'm going to put another C right in here and have this one pop up into that. Okay. Then I'll come over here. I'm going to make a smaller C here. Smaller C here. There we go. Then I'll put one right in here. Now I'm going to make a little bigger one right here. Then I'll come back, get one there. Then I'm going to make a bigger one from here. And I'm sort of trying to fill the area in. At the same time, I don't want to get too small. In some cases, I'll make them a little bit smaller and then sometimes a little bigger. Then I'll come off onto this one. And then come off on this one. Then I'll put one right in here. It's not as big as it should be, but it works. And then I'm going to put one right in here. And then just a little one in there. So it fills them up, okay? So I hope you get the idea. It takes a little practice. I used to think this was magical at times. And I do have a direction. These C's, whoop, didn't mean to put that pencil mark in there. These C's are pointing up towards the beak most of the time, or to the top of the head here when you get to the center. And then these sort of radiate out this way. Okay, so this is the pencil line, is the direction. I go like this, and then to the center, and then this, and go out this way up towards the beak, okay, if you're looking for direction. So we have all these marked out. So here's what I want you to do now. For the mantle, we're going to burn like this, or like I showed you from this block of wood. We're going to get our pen and go deep on the front edge. This is the feather we're doing. So this front edge, which is this, and this, and this a little bit, because you got another feather bone. You're going to go deep on that leading edge and pull as you come out. You're going to try to drag us a little bit, but you want to lift more than anything else. It does get textured, even though it doesn't look as burnt, because the tip of the pen is hottest when you first touch it, and then it dissipates, and you can pull out, and you get this effect. It actually steps this whole edge down in the dark area here, and it makes as if like you undercut this and lifted it. We are going to do that on these feathers down here, but for the mantle, we're looking for a soft look, just like we did up in the head here, okay? This is all flat as can be. There's nothing raised except for, it looks like it's raised in these areas here, okay? And some of the ghosting effects that you get when you do put washes on, you can see some of the feathering on the underneath side that we get. You can see that in here and down into these coverts over here. And that is the trick of the way we burn these in, okay? So let me go in and show you how to do that now. And like I said, if I go to do, say this last feather here I didn't do, this is the leading edge right here and here and here. So the first thing I do is I stroke right down the middle. So I'll take my pen and I'll strike it down. It's not like I got to carry that all the way. And then, I think I see better without the magnifiers at times. I start flaring it out to the left, all on that leading edge, and I try to keep them as close as I can, okay? I flare it out to the right on this side. And if you don't think you got all of it down here, I'm going to ask you to just stroke a little faster so it doesn't even look like it's burnt, and you can extend what looks like a bare spot to have markings in it, okay? But if you do it right, you could come in, let me do one more just so you can see it. I'm going to do this feather right here, is that you, let me get this cord up so it doesn't drag. I'm going to strike it down the middle, then I'm going to the left. And if you notice, I plunge in and then lift out. And I try to get them as close as I can in the beginning there. And then I'm gonna, if I miss the corner, I go back in there, right in there. You can go back and repeat, even though you may not have it that tight. You can go back in there again. It takes a while. And this is a practice board I have here. And I used to recommend that to students to practice this. I've done it so long that I make it look simple. So that's the effect we're looking. So here we go. I'm going to come in, and I'm just going to take an area like the front ones here don't have something as an edge. So I'm just going to strike an edge in my head. I'm just going to come in, and I'm going to flare out to the left. I'm going to flare out to the right. Okay. If I miss a spot, I could just go right back over it. And I'll do the next one. I hope you can see this. And in these, you really have to lift up because you don't want to go dragging into the next feather with the burn, okay? Now here's this one, which is right underneath it. So I'll stroke that one. Just like so. And I'll do this one. I'll come back and do the front ones afterwards. I'm going to just show you how this looks as we go here. Okay, and if I miss a spot, I just go back in that direction again, okay? Then I'll do this one. And what I do, I go from the center to the left side and flare out, and to center to the right and flare out. Now I'm going to do this big one right here. I'll come in here, and I'm getting the leading edge. And because you have a rolling surface, sometimes you just got to make sure you're getting your leading edge, okay? And even though it, like I said, it isn't marked dark back here, it's covered. It's covered, okay? You have, this is actually texturing almost down into here in some cases because I don't lift fast enough, but it works. It works as long as it's not a real dark burn. It's the dark burn you want is right on this leading edge right here. And this gives you an impression that you lifted the feathers and you haven't done a thing except just burn it. And here's another little one. I'm working my way over just to give you an idea how this thing goes. And each one of these is the exact same way. Okay. And then I'll do a couple more here. This one's right in the center. Flare to the left. And if I miss a spot, I come back over it again. Shouldn't hurt. But you need to practice. Hope I'm in vision with you, or I got to do this all over again, which I tend to do sometime, as you have found out on some of my videos. I try to stay within range, but it gets a little tricky at times. I get so concentrated on what I'm trying to do and show you that I go out of range. I apologize for that. So I'll do one of the real big ones down here. So I'm going to come here, stroke it down. I'm dragging a little bit more because I know I have the room down here and they're not as tight. And then I'll drag it this way, this way, this way. Okay, I'm going to do one more, but all of these are going to get the same effect. And like I said, up here where there is no leading edge, I'll just pick like a point. And I'll strike down the middle of the feather and just flare to the left and sort of imagine a feather in front of it. And flare to the right. Okay. And then here's another one right here. Come in here, I'll stroke it to the left. And I'll stroke it to the right. And if need be, in this texture, stoning doesn't reach here, I can come back and stone right over that again to get it to look like it's blending. This comes out a little bit further here. There you go. And then I'll do one more here. So it's this way, and I'm angling around here, but I'm following that leading edge. And like I said, it may be smart for those who are just getting started to practice this on a flat piece of wood. Okay, so that's the look you get, and it really looks neat when you get done. And so why don't you continue on with that, in the mantle area. And so we textured the head, stoning it. And if you want, you could come in. And I'm going to do this right over that. Not that I want to do this, but I'm going to show it to you. You can come in here and burn this in just the way we did, just strokes. Okay. I don't know why it's not. Okay. So, as I was saying, you could burn this in too if you prefer, rather than texture it with the stone. So that's just a choice. Most of this is just straight line work. So hope you got something out of this one. On the next video, we're going to go into the primaries, secondaries, and so on down in here, and we'll continue that. And I'm going to ask you to complete this burning technique all throughout the mantle, the way I showed you here, okay? And just do the mantle right now, and that'll do it. And then I'll show you how to put these in on the next video. So if anybody that may be interested in wanting to do this project, I do have kits available for the goldfinch. It comes with the blank, this here piece, which is basswood. It comes with the pattern. It has the eyes and the feet. And that's all in one. And I have this available. I have it for other projects that I've done online here too, as well, on my channel. And if you're really interested, I do other birds, but not as a video yet. And I do have kits for a multitude of birds and some animals as well. And I've done fish carving, and I've done turtles, I've done frogs. It's a combination of things. I did elk, you name it, otters. The otters, I did do a video on that. So if you're interested in any of this, I do have catalogs available that you can contact me and request it. And as long as I get your email, I can send them right out to you. And you can see what's available and how much they cost, and then you can contact me and we can go through that afterwards. I will, if you have any questions on the techniques that I'm doing here, or questioning the process or anything like that, definitely contact me. You can get me through my email, which is Rauscher, R-A-U-S-C-H-E-R, Frank, F-R-A-N-K, 7@gmail.com. So you can contact me through that, or if you go into the description of this video, it also has my email address there. And if you have any questions or anything like that, definitely contact me through that as well. And ask the questions, and I try to answer wherever I can, okay? Even in the video here, there's a comment section, so if you need comments, or if you're not sure of something, or I wasn't clear enough in an area, definitely get in touch with me, and I will try to clarify it for you. And if you had the trouble, maybe somebody else has it too. I tried to edit this video a few times. I hope I didn't lose you here, because I want, again, out of the scope of my camera here when I was doing this, and I had to piecemeal it. So hope it makes some sense. But I'm going to ask you, if you do get something out of this video, I would ask you to subscribe to my channel, and if you could have any friends or anybody that may be interested in doing this bird or other birds I've done, please pass my information on about my channel. I'd be greatly appreciate that. And that helps me to grow on the channel here. So I really appreciate that, if you would. And if you need anything, definitely give me a holler, and I'll try to advise you. There's a lot of things you don't need, and I'll try to minimize what you need and what you don't need. So hang in there with me. We will proceed on for the rest of the feathering down below here, and then we'll move down to the tail. We'll do the breast area and everything else, and I'll show you. And we do a step-by-step all the way through. So hope you enjoyed what you saw, and I'll see you on the next video.